We all have heard the phrase that audio is just as important as video. You could have wonderful footage, but if your audio sounds like crap, your entire project is ruined. So with that being said, I want to talk to you guys about some of the audio equipment I use in my production, whether I'm doing a video, whether I'm doing a voiceover, or creating a song. These are the interfaces and microphones that I use no matter what. Now these are also some of the interfaces and microphones that a few of my buddies use, and I'm also going to show you some other ones along the way, or tell you about some other ones along the way that could save you some money so you don't have to spend the large amount of money that you might see in this video. I'm going to break it up into two different videos. The first one's going to cover like video production, so like shotgun mics and lavs, and then the second video will cover desktop mics and other studio production mics. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started. And make sure you slap on some headphones so you can hear the difference in quality between the other interfaces and microphones. Now this is a great example of audio on a budget. The Zoom H1 is one of the world's smallest field recorders on the market, and it retails for just under 100 bucks, making it very difficult to beat. Plus you can get it in various colors like the awesome blue one you see here. They also had a red one temporarily, and they have a silver, white, black, so on and so forth. You just gotta keep an eye out because some of them are a limited edition. What makes the Zoom H1 very intriguing and really just one of the best microphones to get, especially if you're on a budget, is the fact that it has built-in 90-degree X and Y stereo microphones for interview purposes, or if you just want to record something quick on the go, you can do so. It also has a stereo 1/8" microphone input mini jack, which has plug-in power up to 2.5 volts. So it's strong enough to power most lavalier microphones on the market. It also features auto leveling, a low cut filter, a USB port for data transfers. However, it's just easier to take out the SD card and pop it in. It features an SD card reader function, and it also mounts directly to a tripod, to a mic stand, or a DSLR with an optional adapter, which you can get in a bundle right now. So as you can see, the MKE1 is a very small microphone. I mean, it's hardly noticeable right here on my collar, but they've gotten really creative with this thing, and they put it behind people's ears or on their forehead and their hair. I don't know. They just, the possibilities are limitless, and you can see it's all being recorded right here on the Zoom H1, which is a fantastic little pocket recorder, and my levels are great, and everything just sounds and looks, you know, excellent, especially for a YouTube production. But there is a budget-friendly microphone that you can get that is very, very known in the YouTube world, and you don't have to spend this much, but you could still use this recorder. So this is the ME2, Sennheiser's, I guess, budget-friendly style lavalier microphone. Typically when you see this microphone is paired up with like an AVX system or some type of wireless system, but you can buy the microphone separate and use it with the Zoom H1 like I have going on here. And you can see it sounds great, I don't know, it functions great. And if you factor that in with the like low pass filter built into the Zoom H1, you can really get great audio and have yourself a portable lavalier system for roughly about 250 bucks, maybe a little less. The microphone is 150, and the Zoom you can pick up for less than 100. So to give you guys an example of what the onboard X and Y microphones sound like in the Zoom H1, this is it. I'm actually using the onboard mics right now. I'm using a low pass filter that's actually built into the Zoom H1, and I have to say, monitoring it myself, it sounds great. Now it does pick up plosives a lot, so you have to be careful with that, but a little foam windscreen should do the job, and you, like I said, you can get these bundled in a pack. So right now I'm actually using the Link Riggy 333, as well as the Sennheiser AVX system plugged into the DPA 4061 neckless microphone. Now the great thing about the Link is the fact that A, it's extremely portable, and B, you don't have to worry about syncing your audio in post, because what it's doing is it's taking your audio signal via XLR, running it through the audio interface, and then out a 3.5mm cable into your camera, and in this case it's the A6300. So all the audio should be right there on my SD card once I'm ready to edit the footage in post. The Link replaces the preamps on your camera with much better preamps, but still allowing you to record internally to alleviate the process of syncing audio in post. It attaches to just about any camera somehow, some way. I use it on the A6300 right underneath the cage, and I even have used it with my Red Weapon sometimes using like a articulating arm of some sort. And the results, I have to say, are stellar. There are many features on the RM333 Riggy, it's just the fact that they're underneath the unit itself that make it a little bit difficult to get to every single time. The cost is around 400 bucks, and to me, it's completely justifiable. This is a great option for people looking for a cheaper alternative to the Sound Devices Mix Pre. Now, one of the biggest negatives about this unit is the fact that some cameras may not have full access to the battery compartment once the interface is attached to the camera. Well, depending how you attach it. Of course, if you attach it sideways and you don't care about watching your levels, then you'll be fine. But if you want to see your levels, like for instance with the A6300, I'm not able to access my battery compartment or my SD card slot without taking everything apart. So a simple fix or a way around this, use like a Manfrotto quick release system or a Kessler quick release system and just mount it on the top, and that's it. So you guys just listened to the Juice Link plugged into my A6300, which was being used by the Sennheiser AVX system and the DPA 4061 necklace microphone, which I am still currently using. The only difference is I swapped out the cameras, so now I'm using my Red Weapon, and I'm actually using a different interface. This is the Tascam DR-71D, and I'm using the same Sennheiser AVX system, same microphone, but you can see a difference in sound. The overall interface is completely different also. Where the Juice Link is strictly just acting as a different preamp, the Tascam DR-71D acts as a field recorder and an interface. The Tascam DR-701D is like a combination of the Juice Link RM333 and the Zoom H1, allowing creators to use it as an interface to get better audio input while also having the ability to record a second backup at a lower level in case the audio coming in is too hot. When purchasing, make sure to get this particular model and not the older DR-701, which can be purchased for less than $300 and doesn't have all the features or quality that the DR-701D has. Now the DR-701D retails for roughly $600, so it's very expensive. But some of my favorite features include the ability to sync your audio directly through an HDMI cable, so you don't have to worry about doing it in post. It's automatically going to do it for you. Now typically you can mount it directly under your camera as long as it's light enough. I broke the mount entirely using it with my Red. However, if I was using it with my A6300, it would have been fine. Now with my Red, I'm using it with an articulating arm and it works great. So there's definitely other sources to mount it to your camera if you have a heavier camera. And the last feature that I absolutely love about this thing is the fact that it can be powered with an external battery pack. So the same battery packs that charge your phone, you can use it to run this thing. For instance, I'm using one that Nomad sent me that's completely made of wood, and I have it Velcroed to my Red, at least on the handle, and it's running and it's working great and it looks awesome.
Hey, what's up, Jonathan? Thanks for having me. So when it comes to audio, I'm not an audiophile or anything, but I do appreciate some good sound. So my microphone of choice is the Rode NTG3 shotgun mic that sits just above the frame, and I've been using this microphone for quite a while. It's pretty expensive at around $700, but when it comes to microphones or when it comes to any sort of production equipment, I like to buy things that's gonna last me a long time and something I don't have to constantly keep upgrading. Now I'm using this combined with the Focusrite Solo 2nd generation preamp, which is basically like the popular Focusrite 2i2, except in a much smaller form factor and only one XLR input. So when it comes to mixing, I don't do anything too crazy. In fact, 95% of the time I just use the raw audio that's recorded. If I do make adjustments, it's to add a little bit of gain or loudness, but I never go too in-depth to the equalizer settings. In fact, I just use Final Cut Pro's sound options. I don't use Adobe Audition or GarageBand or anything like that. Now, when I'm not using the Focusrite Solo and I'm out and about, I'm always using the Zoom H5N. And I haven't used it in a while, which is why it looks kind of dusty. But I use this, I just plug my XLR input, and then I use what's called an attenuator cable to plug directly into my camera, and it records the audio like that. This way I don't have to waste time syncing audio, because that's always a hassle. So this is how the Zoom H5N sounds. The sound that you're hearing right now is coming from the Zoom H5N. And now this is back to the Focusrite Solo preamp. I still have to hear this myself, but I'm almost sure it's probably not much of a big sound difference to you, the viewer. That's the audio that I'm using. This is how it sounds. And once again, thank you, Mr. Casey, and I'll see you guys around.
This is the Sennheiser 416, a standard in the film industry, and quite frankly, it's just built like a tank. I mean, this thing is built to last. When I first picked mine up, I was extremely hesitant to spend $1,000 on a mic, but after several uses, it completely justified the price tag. It is a bit on the longer side than I would like, but it offers excellent off-axis rejection for noise located behind the mic, and the actual sound is super clean. Of course, this mic requires XLR inputs and phantom power, but it can be easily solved with something like the Tascam that I'm currently recording into right now, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But now that you guys have heard the 416, let's go ahead and switch over to the 8060, which is even a more premium microphone from Sennheiser. This shotgun mic is the newest addition to my collection and was sent over from B&H. Now the Sennheiser 860 is a very expensive microphone, coming in at $1,250. However, if you want to get the most out of it, you'll also need the optional MZF 8000 module. This module comes in handy for reduction of noises, whether it's wind or handling. The combined cost of the bundle is just shy of $1,700, which is crazy for the average person like myself. What really intrigued me by this shotgun microphone is its small size. Even with the module attached, it's much smaller than the 416. It offers nearly the same off-axis noise rejection and even better sound. The 860 really has spoiled me with my short time with it in every way, and honestly, now when I look at my 416, I feel kind of dirty. Well guys, that's it. I hope you were able to take something from this video and it wasn't just something that you watched. If you're in the market for new audio equipment, I hope I was able to give you some ideas or other choices. And who knows, maybe you'll pick up one of the mics that I'm currently using, or one of the interfaces I'm using, or something that TQ is using. And speaking of TQ, make sure you check him out. His channel is awesome, great content, great dude. His link is in the description of this video, so make sure you click on it and go over there and show your support. And while you're at it, follow me on all my social media connections and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I'll catch you in part 2 of this video in just a little bit. Be easy.